Hey, AP Bio parents. I just wanted to make a quick video to update you on how AP Bio is going now that we're over a month into this for the school year. Um, this is something I've been doing for the kiddos recently as they're doing these assignments called IQs, in which I'm asking them to confront some material so we can have a discussion or maybe a shorter conversation and hop into some more labs and some more activities instead of just doing lecture all the time. I've been making these podcast videos for them, and they've been telling me that it's been helping. I sent one earlier this year, but I figured this is something that I could do for you as well, just to keep you up to date on everything that's going on in class. So this is going to be our version for November 2016. Okay, so what we were up to in November, and also that first part in October, since the last time that we took our first unit exam. That was on evolution. They did pretty well, pretty standard for how it goes every single year. Evolution is one of the easier exams content-wise for students. However, they're still getting used to what the expectations are for an AP Bio exam, how the questions are asked, what short answers look like, what the long FRQs look like. So some of them were a little bit stressed out about the test. Hopefully some of that anxiety decreases as we go throughout the year, and then now they've seen what one of my tests looks like. I try to model it as much as I possibly can, the entire experience on what it's going to be like when they go take that exam in May. The whole idea being that you get enough practice going through one of these stressful exam periods that when they go and do the real thing, it shouldn't be that difficult. So overall, they did pretty good. However, if they didn't, I offer retakes. I've had one student take advantage of that so far. If they're not happy with their grade, one of the things that I would say is come see me during advisement, please, 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 and let's talk about the process of taking a retake. It's not the exact same test. It's a different version of the test, but same content and material. And we'll just wipe out the old score and replace it with a new one, especially if they had something like bad test anxiety or something like that, then let's take another crack at it. Okay. Another thing that they could do to improve their score if they weren't super happy with it is to rewrite their FRQs. These FRQs are going to stay the same. They just need to come in and talk to me about what went wrong, what did they not understand, and then I just give them the same FRQ and they rewrite it. It's so much more important to me to have my students come in and have a conversation with me about things they didn't understand and making sure we remediate those and build towards mastery in the class rather than just saying, well, this was your one shot and you didn't do great. I don't want to penalize them. I would much rather have a conversation and give them face-to-face feedback, which I've found has been so much more valuable than just writing comments on their papers. So they should do that. They should absolutely do that and come see me and take advantage, especially if they didn't do well on the FRQs. I've also had a really busy time in advisement lately, which has been great. Travel advisement Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. My seniors never come see me anymore, so it's nice to have these guys come in and ask me a bunch of questions. So they've done a really good job with that. However, if they haven't or they are concerned with the grade, this is another thing they can do is come see me in room 9300, right next door from room 9200 here if they have any questions, comments, concerns, or something they'd like to look over with me. We've already completed 5 of the 13 AP Bio labs. Animal behavior, Hardy-Weinberg. We're in the middle of artificial selection right now. That will last until Christmas break. We've done bacterial transformation. I imagine some conversation around the dinner table might have been about having E. coli in class. That was bacterial transformation. They got the best results that I've ever gotten for a class, so they did a really, really awesome job with getting their E. coli bacteria colonies to glow using a jellyfish protein. They took a protein from a jellyfish, inserted it into some E. coli, and got them to glow. So high five, they did a really awesome job. We just got those results today. And then they worked with some phylogenetics, some evolution stuff with some bioinformatics websites that are used by professionals called BLAST. So they've done a great job with that. We'll actually continue that when they come back from Thanksgiving break. Some fun stuff that's coming up is bioinformatics and proteomics. This is not one of the required labs, but just something supplemental that I like to do with my students. It's really heavily involved with biotechnology. Not a lot of AP classes do this. It's more of a biotech thing. However, I thought it was a great thing to include in our class because there's an explosion of bioinformatics and proteomics study of proteins right now happening in universities and in research. And this is a great opportunity and avenue for students to major in and get a job in as they leave as they leave college. This is something they want to look into. So I figured it'd be a great idea to expose them to this. Basically, they use the protein sequences that are and the amino acid sequences that are within different species of fish, sharks being one of them. And they try to determine evolutionary relationships using this BLAST tool also in order to construct relationships between organisms. There's also a field trip coming up to Colorado State around CRISPR and Cas9. So one of my students has made contact in another one of my classes called Futurology. They were really interested in this CRISPR-Cas9 technology, which is about genetic engineering, and really specifically genetic engineering in humans. There is a professor who does fantastic work with this at Colorado State. I asked who was interested, and I have 9 students who are interested. If you're one of these, the parents of one of these 9 students, hopefully they've talked to you about it or they've had you sign this waiver. If not, you don't need to worry about this. I'm just going to take the 9 students who signed up and said that they were interested. That was the max I could take. There was so many more students that were interested that perhaps we can get the professor from Colorado State to actually come down and do some labs with us during our year this year, which we're hoping to have happen. But this is the first time we're meeting her. So that will be coming up the Tuesday coming back from Thanksgiving break. I'm going to make a separate video and share that with parents that have had students display interest in going on this field trip. Okay, this is one big note that I really wanted to discuss with you guys. If your student is struggling, please have them come see me during advisement. Maybe they have and they've asked me some questions, or maybe they haven't. And advisement time is just like office hours when they go to college and they want to see their professor. It's great extra time, face-to-face time. It is so much easier to explain a really difficult concept to a student when I can see what they're actually struggling with and what they're not, rather than talking to a group of 30 of them. It's easier to hone in on what the problems and the issues are and have these separate conversations. So they should absolutely take advantage of that. I love seeing them on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Have them come in if they're struggling. I want you to know also that I'm pushing them really, really hard. This is difficult for a lot of students, especially AP Bio students, because they've probably been successful in most of their science courses or even all their courses in high school. I'm pushing them just as hard as what a professor would in college, hopefully, at least in my mind, to the level that they should be pushing them. The reason I'm doing that is right now is a great opportunity for them to learn the level that they're going to be expected to perform in college. I'm trying to prepare them for college, and a lot of that is work ethic, and I don't want them to get to college and have an easy experience in AP Bio, sign up for a bio class, get to college, and then have it smack them right in the face. I'd rather do that while they have the safety net of high school and they have a teacher who doesn't have 500 students like a professor might if they go to a large state school. So that's part of my job, is pushing them, and it's also what the requirements of the class. It's a fast-paced class. They need to get pushed a little bit, so they might be struggling with that. They maybe have never had to deal with that before. There is a learning curve at the beginning of this class. I think they'll be fine. So if they're struggling right now, if they're really struggling and they're stressing out, have them come talk to me. But also know that once they get over that hump, things become slowed down for them, and they get the level that they should be working at. They just might never have done this before and had to work at this certain level, which I'm glad they're being exposed to it now. So if they're struggling, I don't want to say good, but good. Hopefully they're getting used to it. And a big part of that is craftsmanship. Some students are just trying, they might just try to get things done, or in previous classes they've been able to do that, where they might use advisement and they just get homework done really, really quickly. They're going to struggle in AP Bio if they're trying to do that. So a conversation that you might have, or send them to me and I'll have this conversation with them, is making sure that you're taking your time and you're really thinking about what's going on. I'm never going to assign busy work. Anything that I assign is going to be for a purpose and a reason, and it's for their success in the class. Okay? So happy Thanksgiving. It is Thanksgiving week. There's a rumor that flies around that tryptophan is actually what causes you to get that sleepy feeling at the end of a Thanksgiving meal. Tryptophan is just one of the 20 amino acids that are coded for and used in protein synthesis. If that was a foreign language of what I just said, ask your AP Bio student to explain what's going on with amino acids and protein synthesis, because it's something they've been learning about recently, and that might be a good conversation to have around the dinner table this year around Thanksgiving. Okay, I hope this was helpful. I hope this opens up some lines of communication if you're wondering about what's going on in the class or what's not going on in class. Always feel free to contact, email me if you have any questions, comments, concerns. Thank you so much for your time. Happy Thanksgiving.